What's up, everybody? My name is Key Air, and you are watching the important things that really matter. Today, we're going into a new series, and this series is called Your Prenup Can Still Be Thrown Out. That's right, your prenup can still be thrown out. So before we get into it, would you please like, would you please share, and would you please subscribe, because I'm trying to get this channel to grow, and I appreciate any and all help that you would give me to be able to get this channel to grow, because I'm providing some extremely good information for you all that will help you to save a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of pain and suffering. So, once again, today's series is called Your Prenup Can Still Be Thrown Out. Well, this is a good series because it can help a lot of people to prepare for what is going to happen in the future if you happen to decide to get married. First of all, let me say that I am not an attorney, but I do make observations. I'm not giving any legal advice, but I do make observations. I have an engineering background, and as an engineer, I am trained to look at a problem, get a very good understanding of a problem, and then come up with a solution to the problem. So this is what I'm doing. So I'm not giving you any legal advice, but I'm telling you what could happen. What I am doing is looking at the problem, and eventually I'm going to come give you the solution to the problem of the fact that your prenup can still be thrown out in court. So once again, I'm not giving any legal advice. So kind of like, let's get into this. First of all, let me start off by saying this. I am all for marriage. I am all for marriage, but marriage is most definitely a institution of God, okay? But the institution of marriage has been weaponized. And so even when you marry somebody and you love them greatly, that person can now literally hold it over your head that things don't work out. They can take half your stuff. And so it's just really, really a sad, very, very sad thing, because now you have so many people that don't want to get married anymore because it's like it don't make sense for them to risk losing half of their stuff, okay? But anyway, let me kind of get into it a little bit more about the fact that there's a lot of people who think that their prenuptial agreement that has been signed is a guarantee that the marriage has not been weaponized against the man. But I'm here to tell you, just because you have a prenuptial agreement does not necessarily mean that you will not be taken advantage of and that your marriage is not weaponized. There's no guarantee that your prenuptial agreement is really going to be even allowed in court. And why do I say that? Because your prenuptial agreement can be thrown out for any number of reasons. And so if you have a prenuptial agreement, you have a false sense of security. And so you could have spent a lot of money, a whole lot of money on your prenuptial agreement. So I just want to tell you that. And unfortunately, like I said, you have the institution of marriage has been weaponized. A lot of times weaponized against the men. The ladies, a lot of times will let a guy know, if you don't make them happy, I can always pull the trigger and take half your stuff. And that's not a good feeling. You should be together in a marriage because you love each other. You want to build a family together, and not the threat hanging over your head that she can pull the trigger anytime she wants to and take half your stuff. And so unfortunately, I think when some guys get in a marriage, especially when they have accumulated a lot of wealth, a lot of men turn into simps. Okay, so let me give you an example. There are two, I'm not going to mention their name, there's two talk show hosts that are on television right now. I'm not going to mention their names, but you can tell when they sit down and they start talking about women's issues, it's yes, the ladies are right. Yeah, yes, the ladies are right. And you see their wives are looking over their shoulder. Yeah, the ladies are right. Yep, you're right. They're going to agree to anything and everything that their wives say, because the gun has been put into their wives' hands and the gun is pointing at the husbands, and they know it. And they know, and the wife knows, at any point in time, she can walk away and take half the man's stuff. And it's gonna put the man through a whole lot of hell on earth. So, but anyway, if you happen to be married to somebody, let me give you an example of some of the pain. If you happen to be married to somebody, depending on what state you're in, if you're married to that person for 10 years, you may have to end up paying your spouse alimony for the rest of their lives. If you get to the 10-year mark of your marriage, you will, depending on what state you're in, you will have to pay alimony to your spouse until they die or until they get married again. And let me ask you a question. How many people that's getting a guaranteed check every month the rest of their life, how many people do you think is going to give that check up to get married to somebody else? They're not. You better believe the person's not going to get married to anybody else because they got a steady check coming in every month, and you're going to pay for that check. Also, too, so that depends on if you're with your wife for at least 10 years. Also, too, there are women that's being hit with child support, but it's an extremely, extremely low percentage of women that are being hit with child support and alimony and other things along those particular lines. So 99.9998% of the people that's getting hit with alimony, child support after a marriage has been dissolved is primarily the men. Even though there are more women that's starting to become in that position, but it's extremely, extremely, extremely low percentage. Matter of fact, one lady was being told by a judge that she was going to have to start paying $1,500 a month to the man, $1,500 a month to the man, and this woman almost fainted in court. Well, now she's in the position of a man. She was making more money. That's why a lot of ladies don't want to marry a guy that's not making the same amount of money as her or more, and they prefer to marry somebody that's making more money than them. So these are things you need to take into consideration. Also, you can have a person that guarantee you that they will give you a ironclad prenuptial agreement where you will be protected. And there is no guarantee that any person can give you a ironclad prenuptial agreement, which means that you will, no matter what happens, you're going to be able to walk away and not have to give up half of your money and your assets to your spouse. There's no way that any person can guarantee you a ironclad prenuptial agreement where you will not walk away with a major loss. No way. Because you basically can get in court with your prenuptial agreement and the judge can throw your prenuptial agreement out, okay? So, and if you don't have to take my word for it, look at some of the other celebrities. There are at least 2 well-known celebrities that I know right now. And one of the celebrities that I know right now, they've made videos about it. They've made videos about it. Other people have made videos about these particular celebrities that had supposedly ironclad prenuptial agreements. Now, these people had money. So you know these people, just for the prenuptial agreement, they probably paid $10,000, $12,000, $15,000, $20,000, or $30,000 for their prenuptial agreement. Okay, you know they paid a lot of money for their prenuptial agreement. Well, guess what happened when they got in court? That prenuptial agreement was thrown out of court. All that money that they spent on those prenuptial agreements to protect them was completely thrown out of court. Now, once again, I don't care what somebody tells you in reference to they can give you an ironclad prenup. If the judge throws your prenup out, what does their guarantee mean to you? Don't guarantee you nothing. You just wasted a whole lot of money. You don't have to believe me. Go Google some celebrities that have recently got divorced. There's two major celebrities. One celebrity, I'm not going to mention their name, one celebrity, I don't even think he was married to his wife 3 or 4 years. And I think he made a video, this particular celebrity was stating he still don't know why his wife was leaving him. Well, some people, I'm not saying all people, some people already have planned on divorcing the husband before they get married to the husband. Let me say that again. Some people have already pre-planned on divorcing the husband before they even marry the husband. There was a lady that was talking to one of her relatives, and she worked in the bridal industry, and pulled one of her relatives aside and told one of her relatives, male relatives, that you better be watchful of some of these ladies, because she was stating to one of her male relatives that she hears on a regular basis brides that are not even married to their husbands yet, that are plotting, planning, and scheming with their bridesmaids on how they're going to divorce the husband and take half his money, and they haven't even married the guy yet. You follow what I'm saying? So I'm telling you, you got to be very, very careful. And the prenuptial agreement can be thrown out at any particular time for any number of reasons. What you also need to take a look, and that's why I tell a whole lot of people that what you need to do is you need to spend a whole lot of time talking to the person and getting to know a person and watching them and observing them on a regular basis. Because if you do not do that, what will end up happening is you will miss a lot of red flags. You will miss a lot of red flags where you could be caught in a serious trap where it's going to cost you a great deal of money to get out of the trap. So anyway, what I suggest that you do is mind what I'm saying. Take your fingers and Google some celebrities that have gotten divorced within the last 5 years. I would say Google some celebrities that have gotten divorced within the last 5 to 10 years, and they will come up, and read the articles that were written on them. As a matter of fact, you can probably, there's some videos of at least one of them that's talking about how his prenuptial agreement that he spent a whole lot of money on just got thrown out of court. And I don't even know if he knows what the reason is why it got thrown out. Bottom line is, the judge don't necessarily have to give you a reason why they threw your prenuptial agreement out of the court. So these are things you need to take into consideration. And you need to take all these things into consideration before you even decide to get married. And you should also be thinking greatly, is marriage something that you really want to do? Because if it don't work out, you know what's going to happen. They're going to pull that trigger, okay? Now, if you don't know this, and I've spoken on many other videos, you need to go look in the description below. Look in the description below, which talks about the child support hustle. In the description below, I got links to my other videos, which talks about this stuff in detail, the child support hustle. And there's a series of videos which talks about this, which you need to look at all the videos, look at all of them all the way through. Don't look at a video and watch 2 or 3 minutes of the video, and it's a 10-minute video, a 15-minute video, or a 20-minute video. You need to watch the whole video if you really want to get some help. Now, if you go and you watch one of my videos and you only watch it for a couple of minutes, all you're doing is shooting your own self in the foot. You're not even getting the information. And you should have more of an attention span in just a couple of minutes. Look in the description box below, talking about the child support hustle, all right? And one of the things that a lot of you all men may not know is that 80% of divorces are initiated by the wives, 80 to 90%. I say 80 to 90% because in some states like Texas and California, it's up to 90% of women that are filing for divorces. 90% of women that are initiating the divorce, that are starting the divorce. So it's not men that's walking away from marriage, it's women, okay? Just not saying anything bad about them, just stating they're the ones that's walking away. If 80 to 90% are women that's initiating or starting the process of divorce, that's almost 100% of the women. So if almost 100% of the women are walking away from their marriage, does it really benefit you to get married? I'll let you decide. Does it benefit yourself to lose half of your money and you have to spend almost 20 years to recuperate financially? That's for you to decide that. So one of the things that I will tell you right now is that you need to take your fingers and Google some of these celebrities that have recently gotten divorced where their prenuptial agreements were thrown out of court. Then also, too, you can be one of these guys that is commanded to pay for your wife's attorney. So you may not have even initiated the divorce. You may not have even initiated the divorce or started the divorce. Your wife may have. And then you may be ordered to pay for her attorney. So you're paying for her attorney and you're paying for your attorney. You know how much money that's going to cost you? You might end up being broke. There's a lot of men that have been devastated financially going through divorce. And it's so bad that some men have deleted themselves in the process of getting the divorce. And even after the divorce is taking place, they are hit so hard financially that some men literally delete themselves. So these are things you need to take in consideration. And now I'm going to go into part 2. And in part 2, I'm going to talk more about some of the reasons why your prenuptial agreement can be thrown out of court. Look in the description below. And look at the Child Support Hustle series. And go and look at all those videos so that it prepares you. So that there's a lot of information in there. Don't watch none of these videos and then watch them for 2 or 3 minutes, because you're gonna miss out on a whole lot of information. Okay. Now watch the next video, which is part 2 of your prenuptial agreement can still be thrown out. And I'm going to go into further explanation as to some of the reasons why your prenuptial agreement can be thrown out. But then you also need to take consideration too. That judge don't have to give you no reason why he's throwing it out. You just throw it out. And that's it. So anyway, please like, please share, please subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Watch the video all the way through. Peace.